The number of Americans experiencing homelessness has reached 653,000, the highest since data collection began in 2007. This crisis extends beyond those visibly on the streets, affecting countless others teetering on the edge of losing their homes. How has this situation arisen in one of the world's wealthiest nations? Today, we're examining the economic factors behind this epidemic. We'll explore how certain policies have contributed to this crisis despite their intentions to stimulate the economy. We'll also examine why traditional economic models must catch up in predicting or preventing it. As we uncover the complex relationship between economic policies and homelessness, we'll see how this issue goes far deeper than what meets the eye. Stay tuned as we unravel the intricate factors driving this pressing social and economic challenge. The Great Recession 2008 reshaped America's housing landscape, profoundly impacting home ownership and wealth distribution. Between 2007 and 2010, nearly 8 million foreclosures were initiated, displacing millions of families and altering communities nationwide. As the economy recovered, a stark reality emerged. The wealth gap had widened dramatically. Those who retained their assets often saw their wealth grow, while those who lost homes or jobs struggled to rebuild, hindered by debt and damaged credit scores. This widening disparity disproportionately affected racial and ethnic minorities. African American and Hispanic households saw their median net worth fall by 53% and 66% between 2005 and 2009, compared to 16% for white households. By 2019, the median white family had 8 times the wealth of the median black family and 5 times that of the median Hispanic family. The loss of homes during the crisis often meant losing the primary source of intergenerational wealth transfer. This created ongoing challenges for younger generations regarding affording education, starting businesses, or purchasing homes. Young adults from families who weathered the recession are more likely to receive financial assistance for home purchases. In contrast, those whose families lost everything often struggle to save while managing student loans and rising living costs. This widening chasm between housing haves and have-nots has led to surprising shifts in homelessness demographics. Families with children now make up a significant portion of the homeless population, with many belonging to racial and ethnic minority groups. The data reveals a troubling trend. Black, American Indian, and Native Hawaiian individuals face homelessness rates at least twice that of white and Asian groups. This disparity reflects current economic conditions and the culmination of decades of financial policies and practices that have systematically disadvantaged certain communities. The legacy of the Great Recession, combined with ongoing systemic inequalities, has created a complex landscape of housing insecurity. Understanding these long-term effects is crucial for addressing the current housing crisis and working towards more equitable solutions. The COVID-19 pandemic brought more than just a health crisis. It triggered a housing upheaval that challenged our understanding of homelessness. How did pandemic protections affect America's most vulnerable? The pandemic created contrasting trends in the housing market. While remote work drove a surge in home purchases and prices in suburban and rural areas, it also pushed many low-income families closer to homelessness. Job losses, reduced hours, and unexpected medical expenses left countless households struggling to make payments. Government interventions like eviction moratoriums and rental assistance programs initially housed many families. However, as these protections expired, the true extent of the crisis emerged. Some cities reported eviction rates 3 times higher than pre-pandemic levels, leaving families with mounting debts and the threat of homelessness. The impact of homelessness varied across demographics, with marginalized communities facing the greatest challenges. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, AUD, reported troubling trends, particularly among certain ethnic groups. For instance, rates of family homelessness for Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders have more than doubled since 2007. Access to pandemic-related housing protections also differed among demographic groups. Language barriers, lack of internet access, and complex application processes often prevented those most in need from receiving timely aid. This uneven distribution of resources highlighted the systemic issues underlying housing insecurity. The pandemic exposed the fragility of housing security for millions of Americans. When temporary supports were withdrawn, many found themselves suddenly facing homelessness, with little time to adapt or find alternatives. This crisis revealed that the roots of housing insecurity run deep, extending far beyond the immediate impacts of COVID-19. While the nation grappled with post-pandemic housing instability, an unexpected wave was about to crash onto America's shores. In some cities, homelessness rates would triple overnight. The culprit? It arrived by bus, challenging everything we thought we knew about the roots of this crisis. The impact of migrant relocation programs on urban homelessness has been swift and dramatic. Cities across the United States have struggled to accommodate a sudden influx of newcomers, many arriving with minimal resources. This surge has strained already overburdened shelter systems and social services. Massachusetts reported that almost half of the 7,250 shelter families were migrants, leading to a projected expenditure of over $1 billion on shelters and related measures in the fiscal year. Boston saw an 11% rise in its unhoused population, while Chicago witnessed its homelessness rates nearly triple, with over 70% of those in shelters reported to be migrants. This demographic shift has presented unique challenges for cities addressing homelessness. Existing programs for English-speaking individuals familiar with local systems now require translators, culturally appropriate resources, and new strategies to help newcomers navigate unfamiliar terrain. The strain on homeless services has been immense. Cities face overcrowded shelters, longer service wait times, and the challenge of stretching limited resources. Some shelters have been forced to turn people away, leaving long-time residents and newcomers without options. It's important to note that the upward trend in homelessness isn't solely due to migrant relocation. The end of pandemic-era aid, rising housing prices, and ongoing mental health crises contribute to this complex issue. The migrant situation has added another layer of complexity to an already multifaceted problem. Cities like Seattle, San Francisco, Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and Miami have all reported increases in homelessness, indicating a broader trend. Each city faces unique challenges, but the overall picture is one of systems pushed to their limits. Experts highlight that the sudden influx compounds the challenges of integrating migrants into existing homeless support systems. There needs to be more time to adapt or expand services, leaving many cities struggling to meet the needs of long-time residents and newcomers. While urban centers grapple with surging homeless populations, a startling question emerges. What if our current estimates are scratching the surface? The true face of American homelessness might be far more pervasive and complex than we've ever imagined, challenging everything we thought we knew about this crisis. The hidden homelessness concept is reshaping our understanding of this national epidemic. It refers to individuals and families who need a stable, permanent residence, but don't show up in official counts. These are people sleeping on friends' couches, living in cars, or staying in overcrowded housing. They're homeless, but invisible to most data collection methods. Our current counting systems, primarily relying on point-in-time (PIT) counts, have significant limitations. These counts, conducted by the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, provide only a snapshot of homelessness on a single night. They miss the ebb and flow of housing instability that many Americans experience throughout the year and often overlook those who don't access shelters or aren't visibly homeless on the streets. Accurate data collection presents numerous challenges. Governance issues play a role as the responsibility for addressing homelessness is decentralized among various local and non-governmental actors. This fragmentation makes implementing comprehensive, standardized counting methods difficult across different regions. Moreover, the COVID-19 pandemic has further complicated these efforts, shifting traditional service provision and potentially increasing unsheltered homelessness that's harder to track. While exact numbers of the hidden homeless population are elusive, experts suggest it's substantial. The Homeless Management Information System, HMIS data, which tracks sheltered homelessness, doesn't include unsheltered populations, which account for about 1/3 of all people experiencing homelessness in the U.S. For every visible homeless person, there may be several others experiencing hidden homelessness. Families staying in motels, young adults couch surfing, or individuals living in their vehicles. Innovative approaches are emerging to address this data gap. Some researchers use administrative data sets from various levels of government and healthcare systems to provide more comprehensive estimates of homeless prevalence, particularly among vulnerable populations. These methods promise a more nuanced and accurate picture of homelessness in America, potentially unveiling the true scale of this crisis and informing more effective intervention strategies. The homelessness crisis in America is more complex and widespread than many realize. Economic downturns, pandemic disruptions, and migrant influxes have exacerbated the situation, challenging traditional approaches. Addressing this crisis requires comprehensive, data-driven solutions that target root causes. Promising strategies include expanding affordable housing, enhancing social support systems, and implementing evidence-based interventions like the Housing First model. These approaches have demonstrated success in reducing homelessness and improving overall health outcomes. Our investigation has revealed homelessness's true scale and intricacy, providing a foundation for more effective policies and programs. Moving forward, we must advocate for specific policy changes, such as increased funding for affordable housing initiatives and expanded mental health services. By supporting proven models and pushing for innovative solutions, we can work towards a society where stable housing is accessible. The path ahead demands understanding and decisive action to create lasting change.